Item number 8, we have a public hearing this evening. We're going to hold a public hearing, waive the first reading, and introduce an ordinance amending Municipal Code Chapter 6.50, changing the hours of sale and use of safe and sane fireworks.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. This item is on tonight for a public hearing to introduce some ordinance amendments relating to the hours of sale and use of safe and sane fireworks in the city. So just to review briefly, the City Council discussed some of these revisions to the hours of sale and use at the July 12 meeting. That was right after the 4th of July, of course. And those revisions that you discussed would be consistent with the authority that's conferred to you, the City Council, as part of the voter initiative. And that authority is limited to expanding or limiting the hours of sale or use, and that's what's proposed here this evening. Before tonight's meeting, the city clerk did notify the users groups. There may be some individuals here in the audience interested in commenting, and when you open the public hearing, we can take their comments. So just briefly to summarize, the proposed changes are in the staff report, but for the benefit of the public, they're as follows. So for the sale of fireworks, safe and sane fireworks, on June 28, it's going to be from noon to 8 p.m. instead of noon to 9 p.m. So just an hour less in the evening. And from June 29 to July 3rd, it's proposed to be 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Instead of 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., so an hour earlier on each end. For July 4th, it's proposed to go from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., so that's actually stopping 2 hours earlier on the tail end of that, so 2 hours earlier than before. So that's for sale. For use, there's a couple of changes. So June 28 to July 3rd, it would be noon to 9 o'clock instead of noon to 10. So again, just an hour earlier. And then on July 4th, noon to 11 p.m. for use instead of noon to midnight. Again, an hour earlier. So one reason for the change to the sale times is to discontinue the sales soon enough so before it gets dark, and that's something that the police department has indicated that they would certainly favor. One of the reasons for the changes on the hours of use is to reduce the impact of noise and activity in the residential neighborhoods late at night. So that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, you can open the public hearing, take any input, discuss any additional modifications you might want to make to the times, and then we recommend that you introduce the ordinance this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions for Mark this time? All right, at this time we'll open the public hearing. Would anyone from the public like to address us on this issue? Just tell us your name and your street or organization.
Lynn Berliner, and I'm with San Bruno Youth Baseball. I've been doing fireworks for over 30 years here in San Bruno, and cutting the hours is really bad for us because most of us don't open up until 9 or 10, okay? But if we don't go to 9 o'clock at night, which when people get off work during the week, we're going to lose out, especially on the 4th. On the 4th is our busiest day. From roughly 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock is when everybody comes out to buy their fireworks. It doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock, so they can still do their fireworks. The other thing is if people don't want to, work the fireworks booth because they want to be with their family, they don't have to work it. So I'm asking that we keep the 9 o'clock open shift every night. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Steve Harden, I'm with the American Legion. Echoing Mr. Berliner's comments, I believe you said we open at 10 o'clock now?
Well, for sale on July 4, the hours were 10 to 7.
No, no, I'm talking about currently.
Oh. Nine o'clock to 9.
Yeah, 9 to 9. Okay, we open at noon on the 28th, or the 27th, whatever the first day is. Every day after that, we're working 12 hours. But we are busy every hour. We were selling fireworks, or being asked to sell fireworks, up until 30 minutes after closing on the 4th of July this year. We were that busy. Because of that, we exceeded our last year's total by over 10%. cutting the hours is not going to help us. It's not going to help the groups. It's going to hurt them. The other thing is, and maybe the police can tell us how they're going to enforce the cut in the time of usage. I just don't see that being something that could be done. But right now, the big issue is, let's not cut the hours to sell. 9 to 9 every day, 12 to 9 on the first day. Those are the best hours we can do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the council? If we close the public hearing, you're going to be precluded from discussing this with us in the future.
Move to close.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. Any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any discussion by the council or action by the council?
Some questions. I know every organization was contacted in some way. I'm assuming I'm addressing this to the city clerk. Twice, and were there any comments that came back or emails or any other?
I received one today from the Colts who asked that they be able to keep the sales open until 9 o'clock on July 4th.
Okay, and now I'm going to ask, because I've worked the fireworks booth also, and people always ask how long you open, and we don't have hours posted on our booths that I know of. So I think if the booths were to post hours visibly, and in sales of 5 days, it's less than 7 days. It's just a last minute deal. So I don't know how my colleagues feel about it, but I've got people, that I've known in a couple of booths that are pretty dead by the 4th. And yeah, you can make that last push and everything, but I mean, we're tired. And I don't know how they feel about 9 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock. I know during the week, leading up to the 4th, a lot of booths close early anyway. And I compliment you. You're busy, and there are probably a couple others that that have the volunteers and work hard and all the way through and maximize those hours. But speaking from experience, I think if we post our hours, in which we don't post the hours. If we post the hours and people really want to know, then hopefully they'll plan accordingly to purchase within those hours.
Okay, anyone else? Action by the council? Or Marty?
So my main concern was mainly about the length of time that fireworks are going off. A number of people have contacted me, a number of people commented on social media sites about how disruptive the noise was. I feel that with additional notification to our community and assisting with through cable, through the city's website, through social media, that we can improve the communication, and posting the hours would be something that would encourage our residents, our visitors, to come in, purchase their fireworks in a more timely manner. So I'm in favor of definitely the reduction in the hours of lighting off the fireworks. I'd like to hear what the rest of my colleagues have to say about the hours. That wasn't my main objective, but I still want to hear what my other colleagues have to say about it.
Anything, Irene?
Fireworks in San Bruno has been a controversial issue for many years. We are one of 2 cities in San Mateo County that still allow the purchase and igniting of fireworks. We have been pressured by many people to have fireworks eliminated. And I can't remember when we did it, 2005, thank you. We said, okay, fine, we'll put it to the vote of the people, and the people voted to go ahead and continue the tradition of selling fireworks and celebrating the 4th of July with them. I think what we discussed on the last council meeting that we brought this forward is a good compromise between really restricting it even more, and which was part of the original discussion, and accommodating people's concerns about too many people coming at the last minute, people from out of the city buying fireworks and exploding them in their own cities, which is illegal, and all those things. So I think this is the best effort we can do right now, and I'm supporting it.
Anything, Rico?
I think it is about balancing it, because I do go to the police briefing. The mayor was out, I was out. And so we're trying to balance it between the parts of the community that are very frustrated, who want it to go back on the ballot, who want to discontinue it because of drought, because of noise and concern in their neighborhoods. It's mostly the illegals that are the issue, but what we're told is, due to our Safe and Sane, it then allows a more free reign of illegals and harder for law enforcement to catch. We do bring a lot of additional staff on duty to try to help protect the community to the best possibility. I was one on the July 4th specifically, just so you know, that brought it up, and it was some from the police that also educated me that, you know, they're trying to get on the street, and then we have the booths closing at 9. We had said 7. The ordinance that is proposed is 7 o'clock on the 4th. I mean, I don't know what my colleagues feel. I'm willing to compromise to go to 8. That would be consistent of 8 o'clock closure on all days, so it's consistent. And with the education and posting, maybe that can assist. If we still find that that's a concern, we can always revisit it to bring it to 7. But that was the reason on July 4th specifically, to get every folks back to their homes, off the streets as it got dark, packed up, everybody home safe, and also enjoy the holiday a little bit, and then let the public safety personnel focus on the patrolling of our streets. So that was my reason and rationale, and I think we're trying to find up here as a council a balance that helps continue the youth that the people decided to support in 2005, I think by about 65% or somewhere around there, to those that are still concerned and fearful, some of them. You should hear that. I'm sure the calls and the emails that we receive are not kind at times, and I understand their frustration too. I'm out there and I see it firsthand. So that's why this is before us, and I think we need to make some modification.
I think the modification that's being proposed is acceptable. I wish it was stronger. There's no secret that I put before the council in 2005 the elimination of fireworks, because it masks an awful lot of illegal things in this city, and it's almost impossible for the police, other than when they're right on top of things, to actually apprehend people, because they have to see them doing it. If we didn't have Safe and Sane, it'd be pretty easy. It'd be real easy, because you could nab everybody that does it. We're one of the only 2 cities in San Mateo County. My question has been, and nobody's really answered it, what do the other cities do for fundraisers? They work all year long, I guess, and with the fireworks booths, you can make an awful lot of money in a very short period of time, and that's a good thing for you. But it really is getting worse out there in the streets. So I think this modification is acceptable to me. I wish it was stronger, but I'll support it. Any action on this item?
Through the chair, just so we're clear, are you supporting Rico's suggestion that we do
No, I'm
8 o'clock?
supporting what the city attorney read.
Okay.
If I could, for clarification, in our discussion prior to giving direction to staff, refresh my memory on the reasoning to close at 7 p.m. Was that a direction from us to close at 7?
Yes. On the 4th of July.
On the 4th of
Close
July.
at 7
Proposal
p.m. on the
was
4th of July.
to start at 10 and close at 7.
The staff report is recommending sale on July 4th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. was, I believe, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., right? I'd be in favor of trying it at 8 o'clock, reducing it by an hour. I'd like to make a motion that we accept staff's recommendation, except for the change of July 4th to close at 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m.
You need to waive the first reading.
Through-
Can I make a motion to make a change here before I waive the reading? I don't want to go through this whole
I don't think
process
so.
and then have it fail.
We didn't close the public.
Sure, you can float that motion and then
I'd like to
introduce the
float the
ordinance with that
motion that we
changes.
change July 4th sales from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I'm willing to support that.
Okay, there's a
I'll
motion.
support that as well.
Motion and a second and a third to change the hours of sale on the 4th of July from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay. All other revisions are intact.
Okay. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay.
With that, I'll make a motion to waive the first reading.
Second?
Motion to waive the first reading. Motion and a second, excuse me, on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I'd like to introduce the ordinance with the change.
Councilmember Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Marty Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Rico Medina.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
No.